Greetings and welcome to Sunlight Refuge, for the name of the game is motivation, inspiration, and growth. Hi everyone, my name is Tracy, and if you are new, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. Okay, have you ever been hanging out, vibing, having a good time, and then the energy shifts, and you're like, am I the only one who felt this energy shift? Like, am I tripping, or am I really feeling what's really going on? You're really feeling what's going on. So, like, when you're around someone who is harboring in negative emotions, you can feel that, yeah. And I'm here to tell you that don't ignore your intuitions. That energy shift, that negative energy that you feeling off of somebody, yeah, it's real. It's not you. It's them. So today I wanted to dive into the negative energy and behaviors that revolves around jealousy, right? So, but I don't want to just talk about jealousy like, oh yeah, they hating on you and blah 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 blah. Like, okay, yeah. But I want to dive a little bit deeper into, where does that energy come from? Like, what is that? You know? So, as I did some reading, of course, right? And then just kind of compiled my thoughts on the information that I was reading. And, just throughout life, you find yourself in these type of situations, or you hear somebody telling you about these situations. And so I just want to read this, right? So I looked up, okay, so what is jealousy, right? And so jealousy is defined as an emotional response that arises when an individual perceives a threat to a valued relationship or possession from a third party. It typically involves feelings of insecurity, fear, and concern over potential loss or rivalry, right? So, like, when I read that, I was like, wow, okay, that's a lot. You know what I mean? Like, that's a lot of emotions. There's a lot of depth within that. And the main things that stuck out to me the most was like the emotional response, right? The fear, the insecurities, the perception of a threat. You know what I'm saying? And when you compare these feelings to like people that are in your circle, like your family members and your friends, and things of that nature. And it's like, okay, so where is this, like why do people get jealous? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all recognize that everybody has a time, a season, you know what I'm saying, on their level up journey, or you know what I'm saying, as far as advancing, right? So it's like, when it's somebody else's time, why isn't it congratulations and support and happiness? Why is it like, well, you know what I'm saying? Like, whoa, like, that's deep, right? And so, when I think about like the emotional responses, the threats, the fears, the insecurities, and things of that nature, so I'm just like, these can be described as outcomes of past experiences and traumas that can go back as far as childhood, right? It seems to always come back to healing, right? And how it shows up when you see a lack of healing, right? Because it's going to show up, whether it's subtle or whether it's just overt. um it's going to show up, and it's going to show you where you need to heal and what you need to address. And we can't be afraid to heal and address what we're growing through, right? We're all growing through things. Nobody has a picture perfect type of lifestyle. And if you do, okay, great, but I really don't I just don't think, cuz it's life. Like life gets a life and you deal with all types of things cuz you have so many people in the world with so many different experiences, and you're going to experience that as you navigate through people throughout your life, right? So it's like a healing, being able to heal is so important on your journey, and it's everlasting. Like you don't just, oh, I check this off my box, now I'm good. No, no, it's work. You got to work for it, and you have to be able to recognize signs that point to this type of negative energy, right? So you can address it and heal from that, so you can become a better person, not only for yourself but for humanity, right? Your friends, your circle, your family members, teaching your children. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to be in a space where you have a spouse, and when your spouse gets some type of accolade or some type of um something worth celebrating, right? Like you can't even really be happy for your spouse. Like that's your spouse, even going down to like your children. Like your children will be going through something, and or they'll achieve something, and you just like low key hating on your children. How you low key hate on your children? Like that is a sign that you need to address. That is some healing. It's an area where healing can be found, or is needed rather, right? And so when we talk about, like, there are common signs of the jealousy spirit, right? And so I wrote down some of the main ones that I felt were very pertinent um on your everyday lives, and when that, how we receive that, or how it manifests into relationships, right? And so the biggest one is like backhanded compliments. You know what I'm saying? You ever just been around somebody, and you telling them about what you got going on and stuff like that, and instead of giving you like a true live compliment, be like, oh yeah, I'm glad she got her little YouTube channel teaching people how to put on makeup, because ooh, for a long time her face just tore up. What? Like that ain't no compliment. Like why can't you just be like, oh, that's what's up? You know what I'm saying? Like that's a true compliment. But see, them backhanded compliments, it like it undercuts with some type of insult. You know what I'm saying? So if you find yourself doing that, like you gotta like, these are things where you need to check yourself, right? And so competitiveness, right? Whatever she got, you gotta get. Whatever he driving, you gotta drive, and even better. You know what I'm saying? You got this girl, you gotta get. It's just, and not like that fun, competitive, sports, or what I'm saying, a draw for playing speed or Uno or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, it ain't that. It's whatever she got, he got. I gotta do it, and I gotta get it, and I gotta show everybody that like. That's a spirit. That's a negative spirit that you gotta get off you, right? Downplaying somebody's accomplishments. You know what I'm saying? You ever call somebody and you just like, oh, I did X, Y, and Z, like da 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 da, and they're like, oh yeah, okay, that's what's up, and you like, oh okay, that's it. Oh, all right. Well, all right, bye. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you don't want that, especially when you call somebody your friend. You know what I'm saying? Your family, somebody that you rocking with. You don't want to let that take over. So you gotta be able, because here's the thing, right? You're always gonna have people that are above or ahead of you, behind you, with you. So it's always going to be, because it's levels to this, it's always going to be levels to this, right? So when you are hanging out with somebody who want the best for them, want the best for you, like that comes with that. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be achieving stuff. And if you don't want to achieve it, or if it's not coming to you as fast as somebody else, don't get jealous. Talk to them. Oh, I see you doing X, Y, and Z, and I've been trying to do this, but it ain't working right. So, like, what you doing? Cause you whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is. And we'll get into more of how to rise above, the jealousy spirit, right? And so another one is overshadowing their improvements, or imitation, right? Trying to be just like them. The biggest one I'm sure everybody will recognize is just gossiping. Just gossiping. Always got something to say. Always trying to just, like, cut all that out. Like, it's one thing to talk about somebody and you trying to like figure out what's going on, or something to that effect. But when you just, I don't know what they, like, no, like that's like that negative stuff right there. Like, we don't want to get involved in that type of stuff. We don't want to be these type of people, right? We need to be able to overcome that and not allow that to penetrate our goodness, because you want to be a good person. If you out there gossiping, like, you missing the mark. You know what I'm saying? So, and then another one is exclusion, right? It's like you can always, they always tell you what they did with somebody else, but they never take the time to call you and ask you, do you want to come too? You know what I'm saying? So, like, when people purposely exclude you, from stuff like that, it's most likely because of some type of negative energy that's revolving around that, right? So if you find yourself in situations where you're like, you've either done that to somebody, or you had somebody do that to you, right? We can move past that. So if you're the type of person who do that, like, take the time to figure out why you do that. Like, what's the root cause of why I'm always like jealous of somebody? And I found that jealousy and envy are like, they're in the same category, but they're like apples and oranges. Like, jealousy is like when you like can't be happy for somebody because you don't have it. But then it's like envy is like you can't be happy because you want that. Like, you want the life that they live in, or you want what they have. And that, I feel like it being envious is like, that can be like dangerous. Yeah, when somebody want what you have, like, if you already operating in that type of frequency, it's like, it ain't no telling what you gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy, because it's like you could be talking about somebody and planting these negative seeds with it's just, so be mindful of this type of energy. And because it can go very, very dark, and it can get dark and dangerous. So you got to check yourself, and you got to be able to check other people when you feel that type of energy. And sometimes just distancing yourself can be the best solution when people, because not everybody is receptive to, I don't want to say criticism, but for lack of a better word, but it's like, you know what I'm saying, when you go and you tell somebody, well, it seemed like X, Y, and Z, and then they like, well, that ain't what it, you know, like, so, like, people, it's just hard for people to receive criticism sometimes. So, your delivery is important as well. Because I always say, like, honesty doesn't have to hurt. Like, people sometimes confuse honesty with just being brutal and mean. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can tell somebody something very negative, but you don't have to, like, do it in such a negative way. Like, you can tell somebody something negative in caring and loving, and you know what I'm saying, type of energy. So just know that honesty is not rude and crude, and you know what I'm saying, all these, this negative way of putting somebody down. Like, you don't have to put somebody down to tell them, you know, something. um okay, so all right, so as I dive deeper into the characteristics of jealous behavior, right, it became evident that people who display jealous behaviors are battling something within. So that's why we have to be empathetic, right? We have to be empathetic to that situation, because not everybody can just come out and say, uh I struggle with this, and you know what I'm saying, like, whatever the scenario is, like, people can't always be that vulnerable. Like, we got to work on vulnerability, especially the people that we rocking with, right? Like, don't, and when they do come to you and be vulnerable, um receive that, right? Receive that and handle that accordingly, because you can have a negative response to somebody being vulnerable, and then that will be like the only opportunity that they would express that. And now it's like they clam up and they go back into their little shells, and then it's like, dang, you had an opportunity to help this person, you know what I'm saying, bust through that and start the healing journey with that. But then you know what I'm saying. So we got to be empathetic with people. um so again, so rather making a video about, like, you know, jealousy and hating on people, and you know, all that kind of stuff, I just wanted to change the way that we see these type of situations and offer, like, alternative strategies to handle this type of negative energy. And just throughout my experiences with it, and also just throughout what I've read, so I came down to a list that I felt was worth mentioning on how you can rise above this type of energy, rather than allowing it to penetrate you and now you act in this way, or you know what I'm saying, or it can cause a a breakdown of that type of, you know, relationship or whatever. And we don't want that, because everybody struggles with something, you know what I'm saying, like, nobody's perfect, we get it wrong from time to time. But sometimes it's not just it's not it's a little bit further than just, oh yeah, because they just, I hate it, they just, it goes a little bit further than that. And if we caring about each other, it's like, let's figure out what this is, so I can get my friend, my family, whomever, you know, the healing, so we can go be better together. And you know what I'm saying, because God made you to shine light in this life, right? So don't allow the negativity to dim your light and start influencing you in that negative way, right? Like, we gotta rise above that. I keep going back to rise above, but that's what it is. You gotta rise above that. Like, just because somebody, and that's, this is just a sidebar, but it is, it's a struggle. It's maybe not a struggle, but it's something that you have to work on, because it's like, okay, so you chilling, somebody want to come and talk to you, but then they have this nasty aggressive type energy within they talking. And it's like, it's hard to just sit there and be like, okay, you know what I'm saying, and then be like, okay, well, thank you for letting me know. You know what I'm saying? It's like you be like, who you know the first thing you talk about, who you think you talking to? Like, you don't talk to me like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like those are things that we all have to like work on, including myself, because I know I do. I'll be like, okay, first of all, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can talk all day long, but it's like it's a fine line between being true to who you are and just being like disrespectful and stuff. I'm not gonna have no disrespectful conversation. Like, holler at me when you're ready to get yourself, after you get your mind right. You know what I'm saying? Then we can talk. But you know what I'm saying? You're not, especially when it coming from a man. Like, men shouldn't be hollering at women. Like, you can't talk to nobody and you hollering at them. Like, that's so unmasculine. Like, no. Like, talk to women, talk to females. You know what I'm saying? Because it's levels to this. Your daughters, your young daughters, your older daughters, your wife, your mother, your sister, your auntie, your grandma. You know what I'm saying? The lady at the grocery store. You know what I mean? Like, check yourself. You are a man. You are built big and masculine, but not for breaking down and being a jerk to, you know, to the female race. Like nah, don't do that. And women, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just be emasculating, you know, your person. Or, you know what I'm saying? You can't just be with the rah rah all the time. Like, you gotta chill and be in your feminine. Like, femininity is not about just being passive, it's about having that God essence. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can be firm in your God essence without being ignorant. You know what I'm saying? Like, buck wild and stuff. Like, chill out. You're gonna hurt your heart. That's not good for your health. For none of us, like men and women, female and male, like that ain't good for our heart. So just because it's something that is heavy on our heart, or we truly firmly believe, you know what I'm saying, and what we're talking about, doesn't mean like you can deliver it in such a wild way. Like, chill out. And if you know, like, go chill out first. You know what I'm saying? We got to do that for each other, because, like I say, it can get dangerous. It can get dangerous. And you can lose out on people and friendships and, you know, things of that nature if that's how you coming. You know what I'm saying? Because not everybody is built to be hollered at. You know what I'm saying? Like, anybody gonna be dealing with that. Like, you can be a good person all you want to, but if that's how you coming, like, you can lose out, because that's one thing that some people just isn't going to tolerate. It's part of like their boundary system, or you know what I'm saying. So you don't want to be that. Like, tame that lion. You know what I'm saying. Okay, so instead of being negative, just like them, you know what I'm saying, you have opportunities where you can show them how to act, right? So the one that stood out to me the most is express model positive behaviors. And that's just like demonstrating how you're supposed to act in scenarios like this. So like when they come to you and they're like, oh, I don't know, a raise. I just got a raise, and oh, I just got this position. I'm gonna get this house. I'm gonna do, and then you tell them like, oh my God, like for real? Oh, that's what's up. I can't wait. Oh, you wanna let me help you decorate? Like, that's the response, right? When you know that in previous scenarios, like if that was you, they would have been like, oh, okay, yeah, that was what's up. By time, you know, whatever. So it's like, okay, so you can do that too, but we better than that. So what we gonna do is we gonna show them, when you are in this type of scenario and somebody come to you with good news that ain't happening in your life at the time, this is how you act. right? So I thought that was like real important. Like you gotta be the example for the ones who don't know how to do it, right? Like you gotta teach them. So that model behavior is really important because it directly and indirectly just shows them that, oh, okay, she ain't get jealous or nothing. I expected her to be like blah 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 blah. But then be genuine with it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's a teaching moment. It's a teaching moment, right? And then understanding that when you are in a situation where you're sharing your good news and somebody responds to you with the jealous energy, just recognize that whatever you got going on is really awakening something that they want to have going on. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, it's going deeper than just, oh, she a hater, and oh, he a hater. You know what I'm saying? It goes deeper than that. So, you are essentially awakening something within them that they're recognizing that they want to. And they're not vocally expressing that properly, right? So when you are in those, just understand that, you know what I'm saying, you're this is doing something to them in that way, and then just kind of help them along the journey, right? And again, it goes back to offering empathy and patience, right? Because we know that nobody's just gonna wake up and be like, ooh, all right, time to go hate. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody doing that. Like, everybody being professional haters around here. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, have empathy and just understand, like, there is something that they got going on that they're working through. So just help them work through that. So express positive praises of their achievement. So whatever it is, big or small, you know what I'm saying? If they're excited about it, be excited about it too, right? Um and so they can, start to build up their confidence, because it's an emotional response, right? You know what I'm saying? It's a insecurity is where these things are stemming from. So you want to give them something to build up their security and build up their self-worth, and you know what I'm saying, and just help them to follow that trend, you know what I mean, instead of just sitting back not doing what they need to be doing because they sit up there hating on somebody who is doing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't want to be operating in that energy. So then, like, you can suggest, this comes through with the communication. It just depends on your level of honesty within your relationships, because self reflection and letting somebody know that they need to self reflect on why they act in this way, you know what I'm saying, it can be a trigger for somebody, because not everybody wants you to, people don't essentially want you to call out their flaws, or you know what I'm saying, but at the same time, it's like you have to be able to care about each other enough to say, hey man, like, when I told you this, why your response was like that, because it just feel like there's an underlying cause of why you did that to me. Like, what's going on, you know what I'm saying? And then it can open up the dialogue, you know what I mean? So helping them to self-reflect begins sometimes with, you just calling it out, you know what I'm saying? And again, honesty does not have to be brutal or rude. It's just having an honest kind of conversation with somebody that you care about, right? And lastly, like I said, if all else fails, sometimes you just have to, like, distance yourself from people who are stuck in that type of energy, because you shouldn't be anybody's punching bag. Like, I'm not just gonna let you just disrespect me or not be happy for me, or, you know what I'm saying, display any of those low key embarrassing me, and you know what I'm saying, like all that kind of stuff. Like, you got to care about yourself enough to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I hope you get a healing. I hope you get what you need so you can get out of this type of energy. But I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to peace out for a little while while you handle that. But if you need my help, holler at me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not just gonna sit around and be that for you. Like, nah. You know what I'm saying? So your self-worth is important too, because within your self-worth you have boundaries, things that you are not going to tolerate from anybody. And that's important, because you can love somebody and you can allow people to be who they are, but everybody should be striving to be their best selves. And that just, it's not a one-time thing. Like, you have to constantly be working on yourself, right? You got to be able to take that look in the mirror and just see, you know what I'm saying, the things that, like, what's your reflection? Is your reflection something that you're proud of? Is it, you know what I'm saying? Like, how you reflecting to yourself? How you looking to yourself? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, these will help guide us throughout, situations where we have that energy present, because it's we're trying to get that out of here, you know and so when you go through it and then you tell somebody how you handle that situation, you know what I'm saying, and to give them tools to be able to handle that situation as well, and then now you have an uptrend, you know what I'm saying, because you don't want to keep going down and down and down, and you know what I'm saying, and people can't be friends with other people because of a jealousy spirit, you know what I'm saying. So we don't want that in our lives. So whenever you're greeted with that, just understand that it's something way more than just, oh, she hating because I got the latest whatever, or oh, he hating because I got X. No, it's a little bit deeper than that. Like I said, nobody waking up to hate on you, but we got things to heal, and that's just a sign that something needs healing. Okay. So thank you for tuning in and hanging out with me. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. I hope that you are continuing to strive to be the best that you can be, to exalt God and elevate humanity, because we want and we need the best versions of ourselves to help and battle this negative energy that we have to constantly battle, right? So take the time to learn, grow, and just keep going. Okay? So thank you for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, talk about it in your family. Like, just get the lessons and grow and be your best self, because your best self is the happy version of you, right? It's when your heart is light, you know what I'm saying? It's when you're living and it's just a wonderful breath of fresh air, you know what I'm saying? It's all things good. And you deserve that. We deserve that. Humanity deserves that, right? And so each and every one of us takes a little step towards healing, and another step towards growing, and another step towards having empathy with each other, and you know what I'm saying, being our brother's keeper. We got to get back to being our brother's keeper, right? We're not doing all that stunting on somebody, and no, we're not doing all that. We all finna stunt together, right? Like, that's what it's all about. Okay? So, till next time, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.